Welcome to Paranormal 411, coming to you from an undisclosed location deep within the Appalachian Mountains, with your hosts David Reagan and Jason Scott, bringing you the unknown. You're listening to Paranormal 411. All right, welcome to Paranormal 411.
Wow, welcome everybody.
Thank everybody that's going to be joining us.
Got a great show tonight.
Got a great show tonight. We're going to be talking with Dr. Christopher Macklin.
Yes, this is the second time he's come on, and last show was really awesome, so this is going to be good.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we do have a book. You can find it on Amazon. You can search for East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. Right, Jason?
Yes.
East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. And if you're looking to find us, you can do that at paranormal411.org. Paranormal 411 on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We're also on Saturday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, WDJYFM.com. That's where you can listen to it, WDJYFM. It's on WDJYFM.com. You could also come to paranormal411.org. and click the link and listen to it there also. It's every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also on all of your favorite podcast platforms. Join us. Right, Jason?
Yes, join us. I'm over here messing with this Podbean, seeing if we can get it up, and it looks like we are.
Oh, look at that. It says excellent.
So, like I said, we're having Dr. Christopher Macklin on tonight, and he shares his insights in the fields of spirituality, health, and wellness, and the paranormal. His topics include SADS, 5Gs and the effects on the public, UFOs, the Galactic Federation, raising the immune system, divine sovereignty, cause and effect of illness, lectures on the physical, spiritual, and emotional guide to health and wellness. Christopher specializes in healing abductees and others who have suffered related negative ET trauma. He assists people in removing negative ET presences from their lives, clearing homes and land, and closing multi-dimensional portals. That's what I like. Those portals. He also works tirelessly with the Illuminati Fallout children.
I think we talked a little bit about that on our last show.
They've been mind-controlled and physically tortured by ET-influenced governmental agencies and institutions. In addition, he works very closely with the Palladians and the Arcturians to help heal and rebalance humanity. His book, History, Truth, and Healing, addresses the negative ET presence and how it has affected humanity. Also, David.
Christopher also presents free global healing twice a week and 101 healing sessions. For more info on that, you could go to his website at www.globalenlightenmentproject.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely.
So we're going to have a good show. We're going to start off with entities, the invisible threat that surrounds us.
And we're going to go to a lot of other things after that.
Yes, we'll be talking about a lot of things, hopefully. So we're going to bring him on. Hey, Dr. Macklin, how you doing?
Yay! Thanks for having us on Paranormal.
Yes, sir.
It's great.
Thank you.
Bless you.
Yes, thanks
you for
Jason,
coming.
David. So, you want to go ahead and get into entities? I guess. I really, not too
And there's
prepared.
lots of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
We'd like to hear people talk, too.
Yes.
So what are the entities that you talk about?
Well, what's happened? Well, the thing is, there's a spiritual battle going on. I mean, you got lots of factions that people are talking about, Hamas and Hezbollah and, BLM and Antifa, all these people, but To me, they're all the same faction. It's all deep state sponsored people or Illuminati, whatever you want to call it. It's the dark side, basically, of the planet versus the patriot white hat people who want the planet to be, properly balanced. And so it's interesting because the entities, what people don't realize is that all these people who are, creating war and rioting and everything else, and the governmental systems as well, around the world, not just in the US, but around the world, obviously they're deep state players, but they are controlled as well. And people don't realize that. So the heads really is the entities off planet, because there's a battle. They want to take over the planet, and they want to come on top and they want to survive here, but they don't breathe the oxygen. So there's a battle going on actually for the planet. It's not just, the governmental dark versus light. It's a whole other thing. So really, the governments are just puppets for these people, for these entities. Now, what entities do we have? Well, Luciferians. What are they? Well, they're connected to the Vatican. Lucifer is under the Vatican, head of the Luciferians. They're very snarly, they're very dark, and they're all about sacrifice. So that's interesting with the Vatican, of course. The Vatican's the same thing. Then you've got Anunnaki. These beings have been around for a long time. They look a bit like velociraptors. They're very tall. They can grow 10 feet, 11 feet tall. Some people call them the Nephilim. The Nephilim were hybrids of the Anunnaki, but they were very tall, humanoid-type reptilian beings. So there's the Anunnaki. Draconians. What are they? Well, they reside on Naboo, or called Planet X, and that's coming very close. So there's a lot of them here. You've also got Archons. If you look up in Google, you can find the Archon Covenant. And the Rockefellers wrote the Archon Covenant, which is basically make the people sick, low vibration, get them depressed, put them in debt. And the whole thing is a psyop and a mind control to make people depressed and low vibration. What does that actually mean, though? Well, if your vibration drops, say you're in debt and, oh my God, what do I do? And fear. These beings feed off the loosh, the negative energy that people emit, but also they can attach them. And because the human race vibrations dropped. Now, it's important to realize that how do you stop them? Well, there's matter of intent. I call them prayers, but matter of intent to protect yourself. But you don't want to be saying those forever. So how do you stop them? Well, the whole point about healing to me is that you release the emotion, turn the depression around to taking your power back. And once your vibration's above them, they can't even get near your energy field, nowhere near, But that's the problem. People don't realize that. And, I'm a facilitator. I don't want to be anyone's guru. I don't believe in gurus. Right. It's all a pile of nonsense. People are their own guru. They just don't realize it. And sometimes when you turn it around, people come to me and say, oh, I'm depressed. I don't know what to do. I said, imagine if you're leaping out of bed in the morning going, oh, my God, I feel incredible. And you're ready to take on the world. Then you've got your power back. And I'm a facilitator to help people to get back to that. Because, by goodness, the planet kind of needs help. Yeah. So these entities are kind of clubbed together. Now, we also have the Greys, Zeta Grey, the Reticula, which come from Reticula in the Orion's belt. They destroyed their own planet. They can't reproduce. So Hitler did a deal with them. And you can abduct people in Germany and steal their eggs and sperm for technology. Of course, Hitler had a lot of technology. And then it transferred to the Paperclip project. I think it was, when was it? Well, Eisenhower was the person who had to sign, and they said, well, we'll wipe your family out if you don't sign. So obviously he buckled and signed, sad, but, so then they were abducting people, and a lot of other countries signed up as well. So they were abducting people all over the world. And what they were doing is just stealing eggs and sperm so they could make Zeta Reticular humanoids, so they could carry their race on to an extent. But the sad thing about it is they gave us technology. So it's like, getting keys to a Ferrari and, well, how old are you? 3? Oh, you'll do, So give a 3-year-old the keys and look what a mess we've got now. I mean, all the technology, nanotechnology, people say, oh, it's a new revolution. This is not normal. The cycle of the human race should go way slower.
Yeah.
And the technology between 1986 and now is like, it's unrecognizable with AI and everything else, and, nanotechnology, AI. And I think, it's doing us damage. In the right hands, you can use it for good. In the wrong hands, you can use it for evil. I mean, DARPA have developed a nanotechnology bot that can dissolve concrete. So you could spray it on concrete, switch it on, and the concrete just dissolves. Same with human beings. Same with anything. So Imagine that out in a war zone. Spray the people, switch it on, and they just dissolve. This is not really technology I support at all.
Right.
But it's just important to know that there's a battle. Really, that it's the reptilian, it's the off-planet beings that want the planet. They want it for themselves. Now, if you look at Gates. Okay, they want to come to the surface. The problem is they're in massive caverns underneath the planet. There's huge caverns, and we all know about tunnels and things like this. Yeah, they've been developed. But the caverns, because they're under the planet, they've got low oxygen level. So what he wanted to do is spray, particles in the sky to block out the sun. Therefore, the plants start dying off. Therefore, the oxygen reduces. Therefore, the human race is in trouble, but the beings can, breathe that low level of oxygen. So that's one of the battles, and people don't believe that. No one seems to be talking about this.
So is that like is that a form of like terraforming? Then they're wanting to try to terraform the Earth to where it's more habitable for them.
Yeah, and get rid of us. That's the basic thing. Right. Knock out the human race. Let's get up. The other thing, of course, is that these beings are very strong. They've got very strong minds. Anarchy can overpower somebody, and they'll just drop their weapons unless you've got a really strong mind. And that's half the battle, is teaching people have a strong mind. You have the ability to say, no, we're not doing that, and block that that overpowering thought. But so the Anunnaki, we're fodder to them. They eat people, And actually, they deliver a lot of children down in these caverns to keep them down there. They have done for a long time. But now the time is, they want to come up and they want to take over the planet. So it's a much bigger battle than just, let's get the government out and we're good to go. Oh, no. What about the private West Central Bank, all over the world? That's all satanic. That's bankrupt. I think the United States of America Incorporated in London went bankrupt in 2019. So they're borrowing money off a private Western Central Bank, nothing to do with the government, the Rothschild, Rockefeller, all these people, and they're lending money to an insolvent, bankrupt company, which is actually illegal as well. And the same with Israel. Everything's incorporated in London. It's all been set up to lend money to corporations and create a debt instrument. So the poor old people have to pay their taxes back. So you really you never own money. You're just borrowing it back off yourself. It's a crazy world when you think about it.
Yeah. That makes it, that just makes it sound crazy too, right? Yeah. You hear it and you're like, really? What's funny to me though is that you was talking a minute ago about, the technologies and stuff like that they have given us. Do you think, and a lot of people, you could read it in quite a few different places and stuff. But excuse me, during World War II and stuff, they believe that that's when there was a start of a breakaway civilization, as far as you had your higher ups here, on this planet and stuff, that actually started taking that and now they're generations above, and gone, compared to what everybody else here is on this planet, and they're living out in the solar system and still kind of trying to control things here too.
Oh yeah, there's an elite. I'm sure they've definitely got off planet. Excuse me. And of course, they're elite. They've got billions of dollars. We've had for a long time anti-gravitational craft, that can travel, hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. But when you get to a portal, it's interesting because people talk about black holes. They are like corridors to get the other side of the universe. And, you can get to the other side of the universe. If you go near one, because it's like faster than the speed of light, you can be there in 27 minutes, the other side of the universe. And they use these they use these corridors because they know about them. Of course, we're told that, they're black holes and you could get absorbed by it. Not the case. There's a zero time there, and you just come out the other side. But they also have technology as well. We don't need aircraft. They can create like a unit, and I've seen one. What happens is it's like just a doorway. It's like a box with a doorway. Like a energetic type doorway, and you can actually transfer to the other box where maybe it's 4,000 miles away, and you just walk through it. So like in England, because I'm American but I'm British kind of thing. I'm American but I still got a British accent.
Yeah,
but can't get rid of that. So if you want to go for dinner tonight, you could just literally transfer into someone's room in England, have English dinner, and then come back. We don't need aircraft. It's just a whole psyop to, use up fuel and make lots of money. The whole thing's about making money. And to me, it's so out of control. I mean, if you look at the state of the world, my father just thinks that it's like, there's global warming. Okay. Who told you that? The BBC. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think the worst thing is that he came out with, they said, well, cows passing wind is creating global warming. And okay, so cows farting creates global warming. Yeah. I said, well, we fixed it in America. How do you fix it? We gave them tum-tums, settles the stomach, no farting, we're good to go. And he goes, oh my God, I'm going to write to the government and tell them to do that. But he is 89, so bless him, But, he's a smart guy, and I think the problem is you've got to take a step back. People are in this narrow, like, go to work, come home, switch on the TV, make some dinner, go to bed. And then on Friday, let's go shopping, and we go shopping, then we go back home, switch the TV on, go to bed. They're in this, what I call hamster wheel of life. Mm-hmm. And of course, when they go to work, they're putting a lot more stress because they've got to earn more money, and they've got to keep the boss happy. And the bosses are putting more stress on people. We're not supposed to ever do this. We're spiritual beings. We should be able to, there's enough for everybody on this planet. You don't have to go to work. To me, I always encourage people to look for your gift, what makes you really excited. And, to me, I love healing. I get up in the morning, I see people getting better all the time and, taking their power back. And that gives me so much joy. Some people love, growing plants, and they'll have a massive greenhouse and, that gives them joy, or painting, sculpturing, whatever it is, chefing, cooking food. I think, I encourage people to look for that gift, that absolute passion, and you don't have to try with that absolute passion because it's a gift from God. You don't have to go to university and get $80,000 worth of debt and come back and can't get a job.
Yeah.
And they say, well, how am I going to make money out of healing? Let me tell you one thing, and, I think this is important if that's okay, is that I got a degree in electronics and software engineering. I got a master's degree in software and control engineering. That means aircraft control systems and various satellite control systems and whatever. So I was right up there, and so I got a job, earned piles and piles of money, got really highly paid, went to work for aerospace, went to work for construction aeronauticas on the Eurofighter project, the flight controls, the Airbus industries. And I did all this, and I used to look around and think, there's got to be something more than this. This is just not hitting the spot for me, Mm-hmm. And, people go, oh, my God, it must be exciting. It didn't excite me. It was just like a job, and, you get a paycheck. And when I went bankrupt in 2007, it was probably the best thing that ever happened. But 20 years ago, I got a reading off this lady, and, I walked in, and she goes, right, thank you. And this was 20 years ago when I was in the corporate place. She goes, well, you're going to have a new wife. Okay. And you're going to go to America. Okay. Well, you're going to live off donations. Okay. And, oh, look, it arrived. So we live off donations, and you're going to do healings, of course, work for God. And she was absolutely spot on. And at the time, I was thinking, wow, that'd be great, but how do you make money out of healings? And the answer is that, what you have to do is take a step back. If you wanted a spiritual business, the whole thing is surrender. Looking at gratitude, what you do have, I never think about what I don't have because I have everything. God provides everything. I mean, do I want a Bentley? No, I've had one before and it wasn't so exciting. It's good at the lights, actually, because I used to have little minis, they used to sort of creep up the side of you and they'd creep up a bit and then suddenly you just put your foot down and it had gone. But apart from that, was it exciting? Not really, I mean, I've got a Chevy truck. I love Chevys and, I'm really happy. I've got dinner on the table. So the whole point about this is don't worry about how you make money on the gift. It'll just happen. Where love flows, money goes. And I'm definitely proof of that because most of my life, I was earning piles of money, but spending piles as well. I didn't respect it, because the more money you earn, the more you spend. And then, until such time that it all collapsed. And what a blessing that was. I didn't feel it at the time, though, but I look back and think, wow, what a blessing. So I just want to encourage everyone, find that burning passion within you. It's really important.
Yeah. I've been on the last, 5 or 6 months, kind of on that path on myself as far as, the attitude of gratitude, like you was just talking about. Wake up every morning and say thank you, and be grateful for everything that you've got, even things that you don't think that you even like, right? Like I'm in the process, actually. I am getting another job. I'm just throwing it out in the universe. Even though that this is something I'd no longer want to do because I'm an over-the-road truck driver, I'm still grateful for the opportunities and what I have now, and it's going to lead me to something that I want to do later, And
absolutely,
it's a hard road to go down. It's not easy just to go and wake up one morning and go, how do I do this? How is this done exactly? Because you can look it up on the internet, but there's 1,000 different ways that people tell you to do it. And, and so this has been a journey for me, but I agree with you 100%. Be grateful.
Yeah. It starts with gratitude. I mean, I'm grateful all day long. I thought, wow, I can do this. Wow, thank you, God. And, with that gratitude, I never put a negative thought, oh, God, I can't pay my bill. Well, you're just going to destroy the whole thing. It's always like, oh, thank you for the blessing of paying the bill. Thank you for being able to. We're building a house on 40 acres of land, about 20 minutes up the road. I'm living at the ministry building at the moment, and the girls moved out, so we're moving them back, and we should be moving in probably towards the end of January. And I keep laughing. First of all, the house has come in at half the price any other builder would quote, because we got the right people, the Amish plus a guy who runs the Amish team, and they're not greedy, and I couldn't afford it if it was twice the price. And again, I'm blessed, and the Amish are always smiley. They're excited by it because we chose different colors. The whole thing has been a beautiful experience, not about the house. It's the experience of watching them, the joy of them building it and being proud of their work. And that puts energy, beautiful love energy into that house. Yes. It's amazing. I keep going up there and smiling and think, wow. And we're doing it in this economy. We must be nuts. I keep saying, God, should we keep doing it? Yeah. Oh, okay. Carry on. It's amazing. It just makes me chuckle all the time, honestly.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we have a Amish community down in Tellico. It's not far from here. And, man, I just love going down there and watching them do the stuff they do. All the fruit and vegetables that they have, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And they don't have, nothing fancy to do it with. So they're always grateful, I believe, for what they have.
Oh, yeah. And they're always laughing and smiling as well. I mean,
yeah.
And, we've got 9, and to be honest, the whole house was built. The oldest one, the father's son, while he was doing, the other houses, because they do about 2 or 3 at once and they swap over. And the oldest one, who framed the whole house, there was 3 of them. And the oldest one was 18, one was 16, and one was 15. And they framed the whole house. And you kind of think, wow, these guys have got some skills.
That's insane.
Much better skills than going to school and learning blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's fantastic. Before the show was saying that we was going to hit on a couple of topics, and I think that one of them that you was wanting to talk about was what happened over in the in Hawaii, and the what is that, the lasers and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
Absolutely.
that's pretty fascinating because, like you said, people, everything's happens, and I think that's our news cycle, right? I think it's planned, but people are on this thing and they start looking it up and like, how can this happen? How can this happen? And then all of a sudden something new happens to get your mind off of that.
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty horrendous. And if you look at some of the videos, you can see the beam. They have plasma laser technology, because the problem with normal conventional lasers, you have to pulse them really fast because otherwise the beam will oxidize and it attenuates the beam. Plasma is different because it's energy. And so you can fire a plasma beam at them, and when the energy hits, it'll just literally melt, and they burn about 30 or 40,000 degrees, if not more.
Wow.
And they actually use this technology because if you look at all the tunnels, you think, how on earth could you drill 20,000 miles of tunnel and everything? And the answer is you couldn't with a normal drill. You wouldn't, it would take you 50, 60, 70, 80 years. But plasma beams can actually cut through 7 miles of rock in one day, because, of course, it just disintegrates it, and then they just suck out the dust and they just keep going. So
Wow.
Plasma laser technology, it doesn't oxidize either because it's energy. It's in symbiote with the energy of the planet. So you could see the beams, literally just going down, and the houses were exploding, and they found one poor lad with his dog, bless his heart, and he'd been petrified, which means that the heat to petrify someone's got to be way beyond just a few thousand degrees, instant petrification. So, and no one's asked any questions about this, And of course it was set up. Of course they want a 15-minute city in Lahaina. But, where is anybody finding out why these beams happen? Why aren't we asking, questions in Congress? The answer is, who knows, It's all set up again. And I think, it's always the opposite than what you think. It's like these wars again, Israel and Hamas and this and that, Iraq. It's always the opposite. It's just the deep state playing games to make you think that there's a war on when there's not,
Right.
And they create false flags. And I think we're honestly due for a false flag. I've talked to my top, he's top in the military. He used to be a black ops person, turned white hat, special forces. And I'll call him Enkelbert because that's a good name for him. But, I talked to him and he said, look, just tell people that it's probably a good idea in the next 3 or 4 or 5 weeks, whatever, to get out of big cities because there's going to be real problems, with these sleeper cells, terrorist sleeper cells. So, so I'll just share that. I know people think they're safe in these big cities, but, I don't think you are, but just my opinion.
Right.
I've heard that.
Yeah, and I've had that feeling too. For me, the last couple months or so, I'm like, we're headed for something big. Something's about to happen. And then all this stuff starts happening. and then I'm going, I think this is what I'm picking up on is this stuff right here. And like I've told everybody in my life, that I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. But just, it feels like something's going to happen. And, I don't know, you was talking about these plasma, weapons and stuff. I had a good friend of mine when I was a young man, much younger man, and I lived in Los Angeles.
Well, last week, you mean?
Yeah. And I lived in Los Angeles at the time, and I met him, and he was a really nice guy. I wasn't as far along as I am now in a lot of my beliefs and my research and stuff. And he was telling me he worked for NASA before it was NASA. He actually was the person who worked the radar that was mapping the moon, and the radio mapping the moon. And but he was telling me about Star Wars program back in Reagan. And a lot of people think that they never implemented that. But he said he was emphatic about the fact that they did implement it and that we do have all these weapons in space and we have weaponized space. And, that just gives more credence to, that fact that what just happened,
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And it's horrific. And, but it just amazes me that people forget so quickly. That happens and suddenly we're on to the next thing. And like you say, we should be really speaking to our, leaders in each state saying, hey, so what are you doing about this? Because this is not okay,
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good human beings. There's obviously, there's also hybrid, like bot type people with no soul. And you can always tell them because they always, when they're reptilian hybrid type beings or, robotic, they always wear glasses because, you can see their soul through their eyes. And so that's why they always wear shades, these men in black and that, because they don't want you to look at their soul. It's really interesting. So, and there's a lot of them here. There's over probably, 50 or 60% of the planet's population.
Wow.
Is, like soulless people, and you can probably see it if you really look around, in stores and things like that. You can tell which ones are which because they're just not, they're not connected at all.
Yeah, yeah. I tell my wife all the time they're NPCs, non-playable characters in a video game. That's what those kind of people seem like. They're just like you said. They're not connected to anything or anyone or nothing. They're just there.
Yeah, no emotion. They're just like
exactly.
Robotic in a way, So, and there's a lot of them. There's more than you actually think. I mean, if 60% ish of the population are NCPs, which is a lot, So
that's crazy.
I mean, human being, it's crazy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's nuts.
So I don't go along with that AI. The artificial intelligence, it's getting kind of crazy too.
Yeah. The thing about AI that's kind of scary to me is the fact that you have a lot of these guys that have created this, or say they created this anyway, and they're telling the government and everybody, hey, we need to back off because we don't really even know what it is that this stuff can do because it's writing its own code.
Absolutely.
And that, I think that could be pretty scary.
Oh, definitely. And, the thing is, the algorithms just keep learning. At what point do you say, okay, enough's enough? I mean, to me, AI is not healthy at the moment at all. Of course, it's on the internet. You've got AI in Facebook, YouTube, everything else. I mean, I said before that our channel's being, watched by bots. They've gone back to when we first did, the healings every week, twice. Well, we used to do them 3 times a week. Now I do them twice a week. But they've gone back, and I keep getting, November 2019, Thursday, something. We took that video down because after 14 seconds or 28 seconds, there was a comment, about, and it's against medical misinformation against the WHO. And I'm kind of thinking, who? The WHO, you mean? You mean Soros?
That's it.
What does he know about medical stuff? And that'd be
Bill Gates.
That'd be nothing. Yeah, Gates.
Yeah, Mr. Gates.
What's he know about? They're just into bioweaponry, which is sad, but it's what it is.
Yeah.
So, but they're taking it down. They've taken in the last 2 weeks since they've changed the rules. They've taken 38 of our healings down over the last 3 years.
Wow.
And they're continuing. We got 2 strikes, and I thought, another strike. I guess the channel's gone. Well. But at least we know we're doing some good when they're not happy with you.
Right. So do you do a lot on Rumble?
Yeah, I'm transferring to Rumble. We actually use StreamYard. I didn't know about StreamYard, and I know you guys used it for a while. And I thought there's got to be a better way. Anyway, we tried StreamYard, and it's amazing. Because you can feather it out to 3 or 4 platforms in one go. It's been brilliant. So we're using StreamYard and putting it on Facebook. Facebook, they don't bother us so much because they've shadow banned us. We've got 250,000, or maybe 243 or something, I don't know how many thousand followers. if we put a post up, you get like 10 likes or and a few comments and 4 shares, and you kind of think, where's everyone gone? And it's obviously shadow banning with algorithms, so they're doing it that way instead of trying to pull the channel down. So we are being shadow banned, but I would expect it, because if you're going against a deep state system and we're going to tell the truth, then of course they're going to create some sort of opposition. But Rumble's really good. I love Rumble. We say what we like, and we do the healings, and we also have it on Zoom live as well. So
Rumble does do live too.
Oh yeah, you can do it through StreamYard. Yeah, you just get the code and put it into it gives you a code thing. You copy that, put it into StreamYard, and connect to it. Yeah, absolutely.
I've thought about us going to Rumble.
Yeah,
because they don't, mess with you as far as whatever you talk about.
Absolutely.
More of a free
the AI is getting so clever that it's obviously listening to all your videos, and checking out. It's nuts. It's crazy.
Have you ever, just even your phone, you can be talking about something, or at least I have, and it pop up on my phone.
Some ad or something. Yes,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't.
Listening. They're listening.
Well, also they can get your brainwaves. You should try that if you've got the latest phones. If you think about something, don't even speak it. Just think about it. Okay, I tried this with greenhouses, and we've got the Galaxy S20, whatever it is. What's the latest? We didn't get the latest one, so 23. So
22.
I think it's 24.
24.
Yeah, 22 as well. Anyway, I thought, okay, let's think about. I want a greenhouse. So thinking about greenhouses, an ad pops up.
Oh wow!
You should try it on your phone if it's one of the more modern phones.
Yeah, I'm going to try that.
It picks up brainwaves. It's nuts, because someone told me about that. No, it can't be that technologically advanced, and it is. So it's things are crazy. They're even picking in your thoughts.
So you're sleeping with that thing charging next to your head, and they're picking through your brain while you're sleeping.
Yeah, while I'm dreaming, they get some wild stuff.
They're probably, oh my gosh, let's put it off. This is too wild, even for the AI.
That's it. We're going to ban your phone, Jason.
You've got to watch AI, especially nanotechnology, because nanotechnology is dangerous. If it gets in your body, you can ingest it through needly things. I'm sure you know what I mean. People say drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And when the nanotech goes into your body, it assembles itself and you become transhuman, literally transhuman. And I see it, and we have a protocol actually to strip it out. It separates it using timeline splitter. But, it assembles, and it's got a lot of elements connected to it. People think, it's just graphene oxide. It's not. It's got binding of nylons, nylon 3633. It's got binding of silicates. It's got binding of plant material. And it also has the stealth pathogen of Lyme disease called Borrelia bound to it as well. So it's biologically alive. It's like, I call it live dead stuff. It's got no soul, but it's biologically alive. It's weird, and it can assemble itself because, think about it. Okay, a shirt is nylon 9, but these other nylons are, they've got moisture to them and they're a different formation. So when they bind it in a certain way, what do you need for growth? Well, carbon, graphene, oxygen, warmth and water, and it's got all that. So the stuff assembles itself; it just grows, and it's crazy. And of course, it transmits receive frequencies because it's got CMOS complementary metal oxide arrays in it, so it can transmit receive frequencies. So it can transmit frequencies like your heart rate, if you had sex yesterday. What compounds are in your body, your pulse, everything, brain waves. So it's very invasive, and, it puts you on the internet. So now everyone can read whatever they want, crazy stuff.
Wow. That's nuts.
Yeah. So what I've read about it, I don't know if it's true or not, but whatever these people are that are promoting this AI, they're trying to, like, what'd you say, turn us into transhuman transhumans.
Yeah,
They
transhumans.
They don't want anybody left on this planet that is human. I mean, all human. Like, that's just what I've got from it so far. Biological humans.
Yeah. I mean, transhuman, they can control your mindset. It's interesting because a lot of these mass shooters and everything have been mind controlled. And if you look at them, they're always mentally ill or something happened. They're all, with psychiatrists. And, they all say, oh, a voice told me to do it. Oh, well, where did the voice come? Well, you can actually... I remember Jesse... What's his name?
Jesse Ventura. Yes.
Yeah.
He was talking about the harp on that episode.
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
And on that episode, he did a test. He said, I'm going to transmit something. And he could hear the music inside his head.
Yeah.
So if they've got that technology, of course, they can get voices. And, people think I'm mentally ill. Oh, go and do mass shooting. Go do this. And of course, they think it's real. And they do it, So
God's talking to them,
Yeah. God told me to do it. Yeah. Well, God would never, ever tell you to do anything like that,
Right.
It's controlled opposition. But also, the thing is about entities is this, like Anunnaki, if they attach you, they sit in the abdomen, hang on the shoulders, you can't see them. So your shoulders always, neck and always tight. Abdomen gets bloated because it's being paralyzed by low vibrational energy, affects the liver, the kidneys, and digestive, of course. And it taps in the lower back and it sends thoughts through the spinal cord into your brain. So you get these negative thoughts like, you go out and you do something that you think was great, and then, oh, God, that was useless. No one likes you. They just keep putting you down, and it gets worse and worse until, well, you shouldn't be here. You should check yourself out. All this sort of thing. And people think, but the universal rules, there's certain rules in the universe. If you look at the keys of Enoch, the keys of the universe, there's certain things they can't do. And that is send an I thought, like you say, I, and you receive it as an I thought, and then you believe it. It's always a you thought, like you are useless, you are pathetic. And, people start to think and turn it into an I thought because they think, oh, it's me, and it's not. It's an entity attachment. If you look at some of these serial killers, and I investigated Ted Bundy because I wanted to see why some guy, a human being, would, chop up women 36 and do something terrible like that. The answer came at the end where he was on death row and they were interviewing him, this reporter. And he said, it's interesting, when I put in third party, how would somebody do it, external? He would explain and everything else. When he said, how did you do it? His eyes went black and he got aggressive and then, he shut down. So that shows that he had total possession of some really evil entity, probably either a draconian or Luciferian, because Luciferians are very snarly, but they drive people to do things, So that's the biggest thing, removing those, and getting them out of your body, really important.
Right. And how would someone go about doing that? Having to remove those?
Well, come on the general healings. We do them, twice a week. It's by donation. If you don't have any money, please come on, because that's why we do it, to make sure everyone gets the healing. So if you feel as though, you've got these negative thoughts, you're exhausted because your adrenals are being paralyzed by the entity, your liver, you've got brain fog because your liver's being paralyzed, so it's not processing the toxins. You've got, intestinal issues because it paralyzes the lower intestine. So when you eat, it gets further down, it backs up, you feel blur, and it taps to the back. Obviously, a lot of people have the lower back issues like L4, L5 disc because it starts to destroy that over a period of time. So if you've got those sort of symptoms of depression, the chances are you definitely have an entity. And, when you remove it, if you get on those things, then if you say the maps of intent, the most powerful prayer of protection or map of intent of protection we have is called the 27 esoteric Merkabah field prayer. Because if you take the entity out, your vibration's still low. So, we need to give you energy, you need to release emotion so you can gradually raise your vibration, like say above them. But before we've done that, if it's still, on that, if it's still on the same level as them, they can reattach, straight away. So it's really important to say these maps of intent, and they last. If you say it 3 times a day, morning, mid-afternoon, evening, it's on the website. It will keep these things out once they've been removed. So, I'd encourage people, come on the healings, They're by donation. If you have no money, never shame yourself. Listen, I know about no money. I've been there without food. I've been living out of a car for a while. It's not easy, and I know what it's like. So, that's why we do it. I always make sure everyone gets a healing. It's very dear to me.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
It is.
That's awesome. Yeah, everybody just make sure you go that's the globalenlightenmentproject.com, right? Where you do those healings.
That's it, yeah. Yeah, we do them Thursday, 5 p.m. Central Time, and Saturday, 11 a.m. Central Time. And so we do twice. I used to do Monday, but, I found it all too much. And so I've had to cut back a little bit because what's happened is the mental health of people has got, it's deteriorated. So it takes a lot more energy and work for the healing sessions. Because we also do one-to-ones. And we also do specialized groups as well, where we get a group of up to 20 people. I speak to everyone. We put the details in their sheet, because we always put a sheet on people, not for the general group, of course, but for specialized groups, and then we do the healing after. So it's tailored specifically for that person, and we do those like 5 times a week. We're up to 20 people. So, but like I say, I've had to cut back a little bit because it's a lot. And you have to keep yourself balanced as well. You got to look after yourself, because if you don't look after yourself, how can you look after other people?
Right.
So. It works well.
Does doing that actually take stuff out of you? Do you feel after you do it, after you help these people, does it affect you at all?
You know what, Jason? It didn't do. I would say probably 3 or 4 years ago, it was a breeze. It was much easier. Now, even doing the general group, and we have like probably 200 or 300 people on it, I feel exhausted and wiped. If I do an afternoon or a morning, I'm wiped, because it takes so much more energy and so much more engagement to really turn people around. And then, of course, come 1 o'clock, I feel exhausted. And if I've got an afternoon shift, I tend to go to bed 40 minutes, quick nap, get back up, have a shower, and then you're ready to rock.
Mm-hmm.
But 3 or 4 years ago, it was a breeze. It was much easier. And I think also these healing sessions really help people, because we're on such precedented times. What happens with emotion, it does do, it creates problems in the body. Like emotion will bleed into the solar plexus. So even if you don't have an entity, it'll paralyze lower intestine. So when you eat, you feel like bloaty, or, what I'm finding now is that it's affected the pancreas for the enzyme count. So it's not producing enough enzymes to digest your food. So people are having like gas or acid reflux and things like this. And I don't know if you guys feel it, but and the other thing about it as well, I'd point out to everyone, is food is becoming a problem. I don't know about you guys, but for me, tonight I think, what the earth do I want to eat? And I don't feel like anything. And you have to put something inside you. And sometimes you come across, we'll do spaghetti bolognese, or how really fancy a bacon and egg sandwich, and you eat it and it hits the spot. Mm-hmm. But if you eat that the next night, it doesn't hit the spot, because, your body needs something else. So I'd encourage everyone to listen to their body, like even a salad, sometimes I love salads, love them. And yet, if I don't really feel like it that night, I've ate one, it sits there like a bullet,
Mm-hmm.
not digesting through. So, I'm encouraging everyone now, because of the change and everything, and because of the energies, eat what you really feel like would hit the spot, and you'll digest it much better. It's interesting times.
Definitely. That I've been having problems digesting food, so that may help me.
Yeah, the other thing I'd encourage as well, and again, I'm not a medical doctor, go and consult your doctor, but because the enzyme count is low, I could work on the pancreas and release the emotion, get the pancreas, the glands that produce the enzymes up. But in the meantime, until we get them up, I would take a supplement. I take these ones called American Health. They're super papaya enzymes, and they're actually really good. If you take them on every meal, it's just going to help you digest. Because people take supplements and they find, well, the supplements aren't working, like vitamin C and B12 and this, that, and the other. And the reason is because you're not digesting properly. So you're not digesting the supplements. You're wasting your time. So if you do take enzymes with it, it's going to help, digest the food and get more nutrients into your body, and stop you having acid reflux and wind, and things like this. because as we know, wind affects global warming. I always tell the clients, we call wind like fartimus directimus. It's the Latin of the Latin of wind.
That's funny.
You gotta have some fun with this. I mean, otherwise you burst into tears.
Yeah. Oh man, with the things that's going on nowadays, it'd be easy to go down that path. Where you're too serious, and I think people get enough of that by listening to the nighttime news, and all of that stuff. And I think that it's good for us to have a good laugh every once in a while, and we definitely try to do that on this show for sure.
Mm-hmm. I encourage people get your favorite music on, and dance around like a mad person. Just have some fun, have a few beers. People say, well, I'm super spiritual. I don't smoke, don't drink, don't have sex, don't. Well, what the heck do you do,
what are you doing?
Do something. Have some fun,
That's it. You got to have a little fun.
Get Earth, Wind and Fire September on and dance around them like a mad bull. Whatever you enjoy. We love music, I love a wide repertoire.
You could grow your hair out and just have some fun,
Yeah, now I've got a bit of a problem with the top. I can try the back.
Yeah, I do too.
COVID, it got quite long actually, but it looked like crazy. I looked like a wizard out the woods because you couldn't go out and cut your hair. But yeah, absolutely, just have some fun. Do whatever makes you happy.
Yes, yeah.
And with the people. Another thing I found is there's a lot of narcissistic people around who are all about themselves and service to me, not service to others, service to self. And, my opinion is that, I've had to be very careful about the people I have around me because I do so much of this work, you've got to, in your spare time, rebalance yourself and have some fun. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get narcissists around where they're all talking about themselves, they'll suck the life out of you, and all you're doing is people-pleasing, listen to this stuff, and at the end of the night, I remember we had someone around that was sucked the life out of me. I was absolutely exhausted. Wow, I can't do this anymore. And so you have to remove the people in your life. It's not that you don't love them.
Yep.
It's just that I can't have it in my life. The circle of people you should have really great people who have fun, who hold the space for you, love you for who you are. I mean, everyone understands what I do and they love it. They think it's great. If I talk to my father, he thinks I'm absolutely barking mad. And he said that one day. He said, I think you're barking mad. And I said, wow, you know what, Dad? That's the greatest compliment I've ever had of you. And what? He was expecting me to say, well, what do you mean? I mean, if I'm barking mad, I think barking mad is out there in the
You're
world.
Right. Yeah.
I think we're all normal, so.
Yeah. Barking mad. I like that.
Barking mad. It's British.
Yeah.
So, getting back to I want to talk about the Illuminati a little bit. I wanted to ask you, who's controlling them? I mean, are they all off-world people or races or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. These guys are just puppets. Rockefellers, Rothschilds are all puppets, and Zionists, whatever you want to call them. The real true people in charge are the reptilians, and they won't cross them. So, they're allowing them to do their thing and get all the money, and you think it's Illuminati. I mean, all this has happened since the Babylonian times. It's been going worse and worse. The Illuminati consists of many factions. White Brotherhood, for example, is people think, oh, that's a spiritual thing. It's not, because if you look at the gurus, the ring they wear is Masonic. The Masonic Lodge has got many outlets, but people don't realize that Masonic Lodge 1 to 33 degrees is Masonic. 34 to 37 is higher than Masonic. It's called Bohemian Grove, where all the world leaders, go.
Yep.
Now, what happens is, you join in. I had a guy the other day at the table, and 1 to 10 degrees, it just seems like a business club, and everyone's looking after you. It's all nice meals. When you get to 10 degrees, you're introduced to Lucifer. Oh, you're going to worship Lucifer? And they said, who's that? Oh, well, it's being of the light. I don't think so, but never mind, because it's always the opposite of what they say. Now, Lucifer, they worship Lucifer, of course. They tend to get you locked in by doing some stupid stuff, whether it's sacrificial or something, and record it. So you're locked in, you can never leave. So after 10 degrees, you're messed up. And I was sitting with the architect, he's an amazing guy at building houses, and he invites us to his house. We've become really close friends, and he had a guy there, and I was talking about this. Well, what do you do? Because they don't get all this at all. And saying and I was talking about the Masonic Lodge, and he goes, "What? It's evil?" I said, "Now let me think. That'd be yeah." He goes, "Really?" So he said, "Do I need to leave it?" I said, "Up to you. If you like satanic stuff, stay there and enjoy it. If you don't like satanic stuff and you want to take your power back, then I would leave like right now. So the choice is yours. I never tell people to do anything. I just give them the options.
Right.
So I'm going to leave. But they don't realize he was a third-degree Mason, so he's not got up the ladder enough to be in the thing. And it's interesting. I go back to a thing on Facebook. I had a deep state faction. I didn't know who they were, but they were deep state, Masonic, connected to Masonic. They were called something else. And the Grand Master Percy wrote to me, he said, "I love the work you're doing, and I would like to join. There's no charge for the entry fee." Now, who's this? So I phoned up Engelbert at the top of the military. I said, "Who are these guys?" He said, "Give me a day. I'll come back to you." Oh, he said, "These are at the top of the game. Do not go anywhere near them." And it was interesting. In the meantime, I was looking on Facebook at people who joined, and if they wanted something, it suddenly turned up in their backyard, like yachts and things and whatever and deals. Money was just flowing out of this organization. And I thought, that's, this is not normal. What do they want in return? Of course, they want your soul. So, I just blocked him on Facebook. This was the Grand Master. So you can tell that they do look and they do try and get people involved with these top organizations because they lure them in with money. And to me, money's nothing. It's just an instrument, just to, it's an instrument of energy,
Yep.
And do you need billions of dollars? Of course you don't, As long as you've got enough food on the table and you enjoy what you do, who cares about how much money you've got,
That's right. Yep.
So we're going to take a quick break and do a little commercial break here. Have you got time to stay on for a little bit of the second hour?
Yeah, I could stay for about 15, 20 minutes if that's okay.
Yep.
All right, that'll be fine. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and when we come back, I'll bring you back on.
Okay, bless you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Right. We're talking to Dr. Christopher Macklin, and we're talking about a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
He knows what he's talking about too.
He is. And if you missed it, excuse me, he also does free global healings 2 times a week. Also, he does one-on-one healing sessions. And for more info on that, you just go to his website at www.globalenlightenmentproject.com. So definitely check those out.
Yes.
Also, we do have a book.
We do.
It's on Amazon.
It is. Let me get a picture of it here.
Oh, look at that. East Tennessee Hauntings and Lore.
Oh, look, it's backwards.
Oh, look at that. And we will be, we're actually starting part 2 to that book, aren't we, Jason?
Yes.
Nice new cover, everything. So it'll be nice. Remember tonight at 10 o'clock, WDJY-FM. Listen to us. It'll be last week's show. No, we didn't have a show last week. Oh, what'd you post up? What'd you put up there? Do you remember?
Yeah, I'm not sure, but I put something up there.
Well, anyway, go to WDJYFM.com and you could listen to us, or you could go to paranormal411.org and click on the link at the top of the page there and go to it and listen to it there.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back after this quick break, right?
Yeah, we'll be right back. Probably 6 minutes.
Awesome.
Hey, this is Eddie from Legends and Lore Pizzeria in Madisonville, Tennessee. Cool little pizza shop with a paranormal and cryptid theme. Just voted best pizza in Monroe County. Follow us on Facebook at Legends and Lord Pizzeria to get the latest updates on hours, specials, and new menu items.
Thanks for listening to the show. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Paranormal411. Join us on the website at paranormal411.org. It's free to sign up and become a member. All of our upcoming shows are on the guest and events page. You can also listen to past shows on the website as well. And if you like the show and want to support us, you can do that by becoming a premium member for only $2 a month. Thanks for listening to Paranormal 411. Join.
In a world on the edge of oblivion, go to paranormal411.org for all of your paranormal, extraterrestrial, and cryptid needs. This is Jeff Reagan of the band Catalyst. Visit Paranormal 411. Click on our link on the right-hand side to listen to or purchase any of our albums on BandLab.
Long and winding road, it takes me further from my home. Where it leads me, I may never know. My only purpose is to roam, never knowing what the day may bring. Less traveled is the road I'm on. Maybe one day I will change my ways. Till then they call me Vagabond. These wheels will turn. This fire still burns. Yeah, so these wheels will turn until I sleep forever. Burn until I sleep forever. Learn until I sleep forever.
All right, we are back
Oh, yeah.
talking with Dr. Christopher Macklin about quite a few things. What do you think?
Hey, it's been a great show so far.
Yes.
Remember, we are live on Spreaker. We're also live on Facebook right now. And at 10, you catch us at WDJYFM.com.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
So we're going to bring Dr. Macklin back on. Hey.
Yeah, good to be back.
All right. Yeah.
Oh,
We had a little break there, about 6 minutes.
I needed one.
Yeah. Need a potty break.
I needed to run.
Yeah, he needs a pop for a tinkle.
That's it. I was sitting here like, it's getting close. It's getting close. No. Earlier you was talking about the Draconians and the Greys and the Anunnaki and stuff like that. When you're talking about the Anunnaki, is it the same thing that you hear, when you hear the ancient alien theories and all this stuff about the Mesopotamians and the Anunnaki who come down, supposedly created us and used us as a slave race and all that stuff? Is it those same beings?
Yeah. I mean, it's my opinion that I think the human being was created by positive beings, and then what happened is they tried to. What they want to do is mine for gold, because certainly the Draconians have got issues with the planet, and they needed gold to improve the atmosphere. So the biggest thing was mine for gold. If you look at June, it's a very interesting. They talk about what do they call it? The spice. They call it the spice on June, but it's basically showing that that's what's going on the planet. They want the gold off this planet. So what they were doing is trying to breed with the human race and also alter them so that they could create worker bees that were subservient. It's not worked, of course.
Right.
But now, in this transition, what's interesting is that the problem is if they've had to enlist starseeds. Now, what's a starseed? Well, it's a person who's evolved enough, you don't have to come here, you're a volunteer. I always joke around and say, look, if God asks for volunteers, who wants to come down to planet Earth, run to the bathroom, pretend you got diarrhea, lock the door, and don't come out until all the volunteers are, oh, never mind, God, next time, because I'm just joking around. I love being here, but,
Right.
Someone said to me, would you come down again? And, I need a little break first. I need champagne with God and have some fun and, before I come back here. Because when you got there, you got unconditional love, you got everything you need. There's no money, there's no stress, there's no nothing. It's just actually absolute love, which is great. And of course, you look down at it. Oh, I can handle that. No problem. And the day you're born, you come out the vaginal opening. There's the IRS. Welcome to Mother Earth. Here's your invoice. And then you become the property of the corporation, and then it just goes downhill from that. I've been attacked a lot of times because they know who's who. They know why you're here. And if they don't like it, they'll attack you. So 2 days after I was born, I had 8 strokes.
Oh, wow.
And then I was in hospital for a year. And then I burnt my back so bad when I was 4 that I was in hospital for another year, So, and then this just went on 289 times I've tried to take us out. And I'll give you another example. I was in India, and I went to Dharamsala and, McLeod Gardens where the Dalai Lama was. And then suddenly realised I'm not meant to meet him. So, okay, well. And so I went back to the northern Tibetan camp, and I was in a hotel there, and I just got this overall message like, you've got to move your ticket, stay for 5 days. Why? You've got to move your ticket, stay for 5 days. Why? Just move your ticket and stay for 5 more days or 3 more days, whatever it was. Okay, now this was the time when I had almost zero funds, and I thought, well, how am I going to do that? I managed to get £70 together, like $80, $90 or whatever. And so, I found the airline, moved the ticket. On the day that it was meant to fly away from Delhi, the aircraft that I was supposed to be in never took off. It got to the end of the runway and blew up on board, blew the whole thing apart. It was done. And I said, okay, so what was that meant for me? They go, well, yeah, so I blessed all the people on board, everything else. But, I realized that the off-planet Beale would only ever tell you 3 times. If you don't listen, oh, we told you, so carry on, So it's really interesting. But what's interesting is we have, the Melchizedek beings down here, of which there's 5, we have watchers, both my wife and myself. Now, what's a watcher? Well, Enoch talks about the watchers in the sky and everything else. So I'll give you an example. So I went to a ranch in Arizona where the Greys were dismembering horses. So we had a horse sanctuary, and then suddenly one morning, one of the horses would be dismembered. They'd eaten half of it. And he was really upset by it. So he said, can you come do something? So I went down there and I spent all weekend. And he had a portal kept opening. So I was trying to open this portal, get the codes, the keys of it. And eventually it cracked open. There was a sonic boom. And it looked like, on the films where you just get this opening in the sky. Now, normally it said it was on down on the ground. But the watchers appeared and moved it to about, I would say, it's difficult to tell, but maybe 500 feet above. And there was ships coming out of it as beings and different things. It was crazy. I was looking at this, wow. And then these watchers appeared about a mile away, and they were sitting there, 3, and they went to 3 ships to 1 ship to 3. And I asked them, what are you doing here? Well, were your watchers? I said, oh, right. They're just making sure you don't do stupid stuff, because knowing me, I'd try and walk through a portal. Not a good idea, because you never know where you're going to end up. So anyway, I worked on the portal, shut it. It took me 40 minutes to shut it down for good. And then it disappeared, and then the watchers just disappeared. So we've got watchers that if stuff gets crazy, they'll take us off planet for a little bit and then put us back on. Now, why do we have watchers? Well, we're doing the Pyramid Project. Did we ever talk about this last time? I can't remember.
We touched on it, but it was at pretty much almost at the end of the show. So I would like to actually get into that a little bit, yeah.
Well, we're doing a pyramid project now. So the off-planet pyramids, they're 2,000 year in advanced technology. They're technology up the wazoo, better than the grey technology. And what they're doing is building them off-planet. And what they're going to do is switch them in time, space, and bring them down here at the right time. So they're building them. What's my role in this? Well, I'm supposed to be leading the pyramid project down here. So it's my job to go and buy the land. We need about 100,000 acres, and we're going to get it. I've got bankers working, and the top military guy and other people. They're battling hard because trying to extract money out of a satanic banking system is really hard. If you're in the deep state, they're worth billions of dollars, but for the likes of you and I, you're not in the club, so you're not having any,
Yeah.
I think George Carlin, said that, oh, there's a big club and you ain't in it, and he's actually right, we're not in it. So
I think that's why they got rid of him, because he was very right on a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. Well, he said, he was saying about saving the planet. I love that bit. He goes, save the planet. The planet, she's been here for billions of years. She doesn't need saving. It's the people on it that need saving. And then at the end, he said she could spit us out like a bad dose of fleas. I think he was an incredible guy, actually.
Yeah.
I would love to meet him.
Yes.
But, I think, where were we at? I'm sorry.
The pyramid project.
Oh, yeah, the pyramid. So why are we doing the pyramids, and what are they? Well, they're going to be built on Moldavite. There's not enough Moldavite on the planet to build these pyramids, of course. So they're building them elsewhere. They've also got this high technology in them. One is 999.99 feet tall, 666.66 feet tall, and 333.333 feet tall. Now, people have a problem with 666. Of course, they say it's satanic symbology, but I always look at it, it's like the pentagram. People say, oh, pagan and everything else. It's actually can be used for manifestation. Now, you can use angelic writing to put around the points and manifest from the God realm, or you can use Luciferian symbology and manifest from Lucifer. The problem is you manifest from Lucifer, you get everything you want, but you sell your soul for it. With the God realm, you get all you need and you're not selling your soul, you know. Like, for example, you know, if I manage to manifest in the God realm and say, okay, God, you know, we've got a particular way of doing it where you write literally angelic writing. Who? So it's you. What do you want? Well, I want a car. Where do you want it? Where do you want it? Why you want it? Why do you want it? And the why is really important. So if I wrote, well, God, I want a Bentley. Why do you want it? To show off to all the people around town that I'm really stinking rich. Is that a God thing? And the answer is, no. Probably. Yeah. Now, if you put, you know, who? Me. I want a minibus. Where, here, right now, when, and then the why, the 5-pointed pentagram. The why is because I want to take the disabled, you know, kids to the swimming pool. Then that's a godly thing, you know, it's service to others. So with doing it from the angelic thing, as long as it's a good reason, as long as it's service to others, you will get everything you need. You know, it really will. So anyway, so the pyramids, so they're going to be switched down here in time space. They'll just appear one morning. The last one is being finished, which is the biggest one. My job is to get the acreage so that, you know, you can imagine if pyramids that big just appear like, then people are going to take real interest and they're going to want to come and see them. So you can't just make them appear. You've got to create some sort of infrastructure so you can bus people in, they can have food, they can have water. You've got toilet facilities, you've got, you know, meditation gardens, you've got, you know, maybe a theatre where, you know, a big theatre where you can, you know, talk to people and do some teachings. You need a whole infrastructure. We're also going to have a massive farm, maybe 10, 20,000 acres, so we can grow enough food to supply the restaurant, so we know it's organic. And, you know, it could do oils, you know, people could do, you know, their own gifts as well. It's probably going to be the biggest spiritual project that probably, I don't know, has ever done. I don't know, but it's going to be huge. You know, they reckon it'll cost about $200 billion now. Wow. Let me just check. Do I have the money? That'd be a no. That's up to the bankers. You know, they do that. I'm just interested in, you know, getting the pyramids here and doing the healing. Now, what will it do? How will it get rid of the reptilians? Well, it's going to be in the Golden Curve, and the biggest pyramid will be sited on the ley line juncture, which means that, you know, they'll power each other up and then they'll inject so much energy into the ley lines, they'll blow out all the satanic symbology. Because, you know, you guys probably know that things like banks are built on ley lines because, you know, they try and suck the energy. But the satanic symbology actually starts to block the ley line. So because of the energy, it'll blow all that out and it'll clear them. But it also raises the vibration of the planet to such an extent that the low vibrational beings like reptilians won't be able to stay here. They'll have to leave or they'll perish because they don't do well in a high vibrational place. So it kind of, you know, without karma, it shifts the whole planet from satanic to something very different. So, you know, that's why we're doing the project. Because the biggest problem is these reptilians and, you know, the beings in charge. It's the deep state, yeah, okay, you know, people can deal with them, all the world leaders, whatever. But to me, the biggest problem is actually underneath. It's interesting because I was looking at a video and they were saying about national parks. I don't even know about national parks, but a lot of openings for these massive chambers are actually in national parks. And when people, you know, even the military have gone in, they've kind of been crushed and eaten because, again, the reptilians eat people. And they can, you know, their mind's so powerful, they can disarm them and then they just eat them and they're in bits on the floor and people have been, like, shocked. That's why a lot of the rangers are scared to death of going in national parks because it's a national park for a reason, and that's because of the openings to the reptilians. So an interesting point, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, that's pretty fascinating, actually.
It is.
That might even give some credence to, what is that, Missing 411, David Paulides, the work that he does with the missing people in the national parks and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's true, you know. And we've had military accounts. It's interesting because the guy I was talking about, the top military guy, I'm calling him Engelbert for a reason. Strange name, but I chose it. So I was talking to him one day, and I briefed him on what I knew, and he goes, wow, okay, you know. Then he had a meeting with the commander, and he was debriefed over 48 hours. This was a top secret briefing. And he said, holy crap, he said, everything you said was in this briefing, you know. And how did you know? I said, well, I can see it. I can remote view things, and you can see the reptilian elements. And they showed him pictures and everything else. And he said, it's just clarifying what you know. So, you know, it made him a real believer, like, wow. So it's crazy. I mean, I used to remote view these domes and things like this, but when you remote view them, you can smell things, and the smell of death is so overwhelming. You know, it's maybe throw up a couple, and I know what's there. You don't have to use a 2x4 and keep bashing yourself over the head. So I've actually cut that off because it's too much. You know, it's too much to see.
Wow.
With that pyramid project, is that what the other pyramids were put here for? Was to raise the vibration to try to get rid of these entities?
Yeah, raise the vibration, but also they were healing as well. I mean, if you go inside a pyramid, I mean, the Giza pyramids were built by the Palladians. They were put here about 17,500 years ago. Again, built off planet, you know, because, you know, they still realize they don't have the technology to build that accurate, even today, you know, with the technology we have. We can't build a pyramid that accurate. And so these guys off planet, I mean, believe it or not, you know, these ones are built in the 12th dimension. They're going to switch them in time space here and then fly them in, you know, in anti-gravitational craft, because the things, although they're that big, will weigh nothing. And so, but they're going to phase them out of this dimension until they get here, and then suddenly, bang, they'll appear. So it's going to be a huge project, you know. We need, you know, when we get the money flowing, we start doing things, we'll need so much help, you know, because it makes Disney look like Mary Poppins compared with the size of it, you know. So, and you can imagine how, you know, if these things just appear and it gets on national news, people are going to want to come see them. You're going to get millions and millions of people a year come and see them, which means you need help, you know. At the moment, it's only just Mandy and myself, and that's it. There's not quite enough people, so we'll be, you know, there'll be money to pay people. They can do their gifts there, you know, like if someone's into farming, we'll have, you know, 10, 20,000 acre farm, you know, we'll be growing food. There'll be restaurants, there'll be a bar, there'll be, you know, crystal shops, there'll be massage therapy, there'll be colonics, you know, there'll be a hospital even, because, you know, if there's an emergency and someone's broken their leg, you need a doctor there. So, okay, we'll put some, but they'll be the right people, you know, fire department, everything. So it's going to be a huge project. I've got people in line who, you know, in connection with the military guy who, you know, can actually manage this thing and, you know, build it. But I want to neglect it. I don't want just a concrete jungle. I want it to look like, you know, one of these Italian streets. When you walk down it, they've got these quaint shops, and I want it to be really, really eclectic and different, you know, and get some character in it. So it's going to be exciting.
That's awesome.
How far do you think that's out in time wise? Do you think we'll see it? Do you think we'll see it?
I think, I mean, we thought it was going to be this year, but of course the timeline's changed. The problem with predicting time is that at the moment they're looking at the fall of next year, probably equinox. It's the equinox. Probably the 21st of December-ish next year. If that doesn't happen, it'll either be the spring equinox or the fall the year after. But the problem is, you know, you can imagine that if the deep state are connected to these reptilians, do they want these reptilians off the planet? They are absolutely not. So if they're put in right now, they would be hijacked, you know, taken over, so to speak. So it's got to be with the right administration, the right people involved. So at the moment, you know, we're being very careful because we've got the money lining up for the land, which is 100,000 acres. It's a lot of money. But, you know, why would you go and buy land with the current administration? Because they're watching who's doing what, you know, they watch everything. And so we're just sitting back and, you know, just letting it happen. That's why I can never tell people where it is in the United States, because, of course, someone like Gates will buy up all the land around there, you know. So, you know, but I know where it's going to be. So it's going to be an exciting project.
Wow. I look forward to it.
Yeah. I hope we get to see it.
Yeah.
Oh, we will do for sure. Well, it's going to happen, but hopefully it'll be within the next 2 years. But it's like this big transition. People say, "When's this big transition happening?" When the military's stepping in, Well, when people wake up enough that it doesn't become a coup, and I don't think people are quite there, but they're getting there. I think a lot of people are waking up thinking there's something wrong with this picture, even if they're not quite with it and see who's doing things. At least they can see that everything's corrupt. What's not corrupt? People often say there must be something that's not being corrupt on this planet. I'm thinking, now let me see. No, that'll be everything. Everything's corrupted.
Yeah.
There's nothing. Even money, even food, even air. Land. Everything's been hijacked. And it's up to us to turn it around and start. Planet Earth herself, she can take care of herself. She can clean this whole planet within days, if we stop polluting it. But of course, chemtrails and all the things that happen, it's constant. So, yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. And us trying to play God and change the weather and everything else too. It's insane. That's
have you seen?
It's insanity.
Have you seen that mobile heart unit? It's absolutely enormous. Have you ever seen that?
No. I knew that they moved it from Alaska and stuff. I knew that they moved it, but I didn't know, what they had done with it.
Well, they showed a picture of it. It's what they call it. Mehmet, where they move massive loads, and they've got all these, 120 wheels on each side and all this sort of thing. Well, it looked like that, so it had this huge, I'm not joking, it was probably about this big, yeah, and a guy standing next to it was down here, it was that big, and it was a huge thing on wheels, and they said, this is the new HAARP, and it was like a cylinder with a cone at the front. So how they did that, I don't know, why it has to be that big, who knows, but now they've got HAARP where they can actually drive it around. Of course, they must have a big truck because it must weigh tons, but so it's sad. Weather's manipulated. You've got energy weapons, you've got all sorts of things going on. But the good thing about it is, I think it's all changing. I think people have had enough of this. So it's like the child trafficking and all the dream code and all that sort of thing. We've had enough of it. It's got to stop. And I always think, do whatever you want on your planet, but not on our planet. It's on my watch. It's not happening. And I think if we all get together and stop it, it is being dismantled. It's just a bit slow. And I think there's a lot going on behind the scenes that you never see, like people are taking out, puppets put in place. So little by little, these people are taking out Yellen, Biden, a lot of people, Obama. And, a lot of these people are just puppets, but they're allowing the show to play out, because if you don't, you can't let it look like a coup. That's what I always tell people, don't worry about it. We've won already. You just got to let the show play out long enough to then, one day what's going to happen, and is what I believe is something's going to happen, like, the war steps up and suddenly the military step in because they have to take care of these sleeper cells of Hamas and, BLM, whatever, all over the country. Once they step in, then they're authorized to do it. They're in charge already. It's just that people don't know it. So they've got to have a reason to come in and be in charge. And once they've done that, it'll be game over. When does it happen? Who knows? But I think it's close. I don't know about you guys, but some days I wake up and think, it feels like the Twilight Zone, like da-da, da-da. Something's just about to happen. Yes. Oh, nothing happened. And then other days you feel completely discombobulated all over the place and spacey. Each day the energy is so different. Last Sunday I felt really kind of spacey and discombobulated. I said, this is not right. Okay, so let's find out where it's come from. It was actually satellite frequencies were beaming down, and so I took it out. It stopped straight away. So again, maps of intent. There's a spiritual attack prayer. There's different things that can really help people. Use them, because the only defense you've got really is the power of God and the power of intent. In my opinion. And I think if you use that, we're made way more powerful beings than these guys with money. Money doesn't mean anything. To me, it's the power of God. And these guys don't believe in God. They think they are God, and they're worshipping Lucifer or whoever, So,
Well,
absolutely.
You want to go ahead and give everybody your website and all the information?
Absolutely, yeah. If you go to globalenlightenmentproject.com, you can send us a message to the website. It's part of the ministry. You know, we have originally registered as ChristopherMacklinMinistries.com, and then Global Enlightenment Project is a project within it that's been registered also in Missouri. So globalenlightenmentproject.com, and yeah, have a look at, you know, the things on it. We have meditations. We have things like, you know, meditation for ADD and brain problems, and, you know, anxiety, PTSD, OCD, and things like that. We have meditations for many different things, past life clearing heart chakra. You know, we've got so many instruments to help people. So yeah, go on that. You know, and we've also got one, the immune meditation, and it does it all for you. You just have to lie there, and the McHughes beings go in with my voice activation, and they you know, work on, you know, the thymus, the spleen, the bone marrow, adenoids, tonsils, everything. And in this day and age with this bioweapon around, I think it's probably worth getting that and playing it every night, because it will really help you, you know.
That's
Sounds
awesome.
good.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm going to have to go in there myself.
Yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing.
Well, absolutely.
So I guess we'll let you go. I know you're probably a busy man.
Oh, bless your heart. Well, thanks for having me, both of you.
And
Yes,
I'll
sir.
send you the link to the radio station that will be playing it next week. So maybe you can share it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll share it on all social media. We're on Truth Social, Facebook, YouTube, not so much right now because we've been struck. But I think we've got 2 weeks and then we'll be back on, so I can share it there.
Okay.
So that'd be really good. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
we really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on.
Good night.
God bless.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good night.
All right.
Dr. Christopher Macklin.
Such a nice guy.
He is. He's awesome. Awesome people. Remember, you know, he does 2 times a week. They do global healing. He also does one-on-one healing sessions. And just go to the website at globalenlightenmentproject.com.
Oh, yeah.
globalenlightenmentproject.com. And it's an awesome website. It really is a good website. So, remember, we also have a book, East
do.
Tennessee Hauntings and Lore. It's on Amazon.
Amazon.
It's an awesome book. Just to let you know. If you're looking to find us, you can do that at paranormal411.org. You can find us Paranormal 411 on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Right?
Yep.
Like I've said 15 times already. I don't know if you've heard it yet or not, but on Saturday nights, which is tonight, 10 o'clock, which is coming really soon.
Hopefully tonight,
Yeah.
because I kind of got busy with some videos and maybe I forgot to upload the episode, but
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see. You go to WDJYFM. That's WDJYFM.com. Now, if you live in the metro Atlanta area, it's 99.1 FM. So
Yes.
99.1 FM if you live in the metro area of Atlanta. And definitely join us.
Oh, yeah. Join us. So, I guess we'll see you next week. Paranormal 411. This episode will be on YouTube later. We had a little problem with YouTube today, so I will upload it. And hope everybody has a great night.
Have a great night. Have a great weekend. And we'll see you next time.